Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The fascination with the colossal presence of Kong continues to grow as fans revisit the mysterious island that first brought the creature to international attention and set the tone for an expansive universe of massive titans and ancient forces. Conversations surrounding this story often revolve around the curious blend of adventure, danger, and mythology that shaped the experience. And even now, people find themselves wondering how the ideas born from that isolated, unpredictable land might evolve in future stories. The film left behind a trace of unanswered questions, hints of deeper histories, and the feeling that Skull Island is far more than a simple location. It is a living, breathing entity filled with secrets waiting to be uncovered. As time passes, renewed interest continues to build, especially among fans who see Skull Island as the gateway to everything that followed in this universe. They revisit the rugged environment, the unpredictable weather patterns, and the towering landscapes that concealed both beauty and danger. Many discussions focus on how the island itself almost felt alive, reacting to disturbances and shaping the destiny of anyone who set foot there. These details spark speculation about what else might lie hidden in its unexplored corners, what ancient events shaped the creatures that evolved there, and how those events could play into the broader mythology that audiences have come to know. The presence of Kong himself remains at the center of these conversations, not only because of his enormous power but because of the emotional nuance that his character carries. Fans often describe him as more than a beast, an intelligent, expressive figure shaped by isolation, instinct, and a sense of responsibility toward the land he protects. The idea that this giant could show both ferocity and empathy helped create an emotional bond between audiences and the creature. And that attachment is a major reason people continue discussing the film years later. Every gesture, every moment of quiet observation, and every protective impulse adds layers to the character and invites speculation about how he might continue to evolve. The island's ecosystem continues to inspire much of the fan-driven discussion. The creatures encountered there carved a lasting impression, leaving audiences fascinated not only by their designs but by how they fit into the island's internal hierarchy. Fans imagine entire ecosystems that the film only hinted at, from airborne predators lurking above the tree line to subterranean species that may never have been revealed. This ongoing curiosity contributes to the sense that the island is a place where nature behaves differently, where evolution branches into extreme pathways, and where survival requires not only strength but cunning and adaptation. One of the reasons the story resonates so deeply is the sense of human vulnerability that it portrays. The people who ventured into the island's wild terrain were forced to confront the limits of their knowledge, the fragility of their equipment, and the unpredictability of an environment unlike anything they had trained for. This contrast between human ambition and the raw, untamed force of nature plays heavily into the film's lasting appeal, reminding audiences of how small humanity becomes in the face of ancient powers that have existed long before modern civilization. Fans often return to these themes, reflecting on how they might be explored even more deeply in future expansions of the universe. There are also constant discussions about how the events surrounding the island influenced everything that came later. Fans outline the connections they see between the creatures discovered there and the larger world of titans that eventually emerged. They imagine how early encounters on the island might have offered subtle hints about the global forces operating beneath the surface. This sense of interconnectedness fuels speculation about how Skull Island serves as a central piece of the puzzle, a place where ancient energy, territorial dominance, and cosmic history converge to shape the future of the world. The appearance of Kong during key moments on the island remains one of the most celebrated elements of the story. Each encounter showcased not only his size and power but his instincts, intelligence, and emotional reactions. Fans discuss how these scenes helped define him as a king in his own right, an apex figure, whose authority was earned through struggle and resilience rather than brute force alone. These moments continue to resonate because they capture the dual nature of Kong. both a survivor shaped by hardship and a guardian compelled by an unspoken responsibility to protect the balance of his domain beyond the creature itself. People remain intrigued by the hints of ancient histories embedded within the island's landscape. From towering rock formations to mysterious remnants possibly left behind by earlier civilizations or extinct species, the setting sparks constant debate. Fans craft theories about whether the island once hosted other giants, whether massive conflicts took place long before human arrival, or whether the land holds traces of cataclysmic events that shaped the modern Titan world. These imaginative explorations continue to breathe life into the story long after the credits rolled. Another aspect that frequently arises in fan discussions is the emotional connection audiences formed with the human characters, particularly those who arrived on the island unaware of the danger lurking within. The clashes of personality, the discovery of purpose, and the moments of sacrifice created a sense of humanity that balanced the giant spectacle. Even though the heart of the story is unquestionably the island and its Titan protector, the human experiences provided grounding and perspective, allowing the audience to see the environment through the eyes of those who were encountering it for the first time. This dynamic remains a significant part of the film's continued appreciation. The influence of the film within the larger monster-centered cinematic universe continues to be a recurring topic of conversation. Fans often credit the story for establishing the tone of discovery and awe that shaped later entries. It introduced the idea that Titans are not simply threats, but ancient forces with histories, territories, and instincts that demand respect. This approach shifted the way audiences viewed the giant creatures at the heart of the universe, and set the standard for future storytelling. Discussions about these contributions highlight how the film shaped expectations for world-building, creature interaction, and thematic exploration. The aesthetic style of the film also continues to receive praise, sparking discussions about how its visual atmosphere influenced the tone of subsequent stories. The blend of natural beauty, haunting silence, and explosive danger remains memorable, offering a sensory experience that fans return to again and again. Many describe the island as one of the most striking locations in any monster film, and this visual identity contributes heavily to ongoing interest and speculation. Some fans use the film as a foundation for their own imaginings, crafting speculative stories about what might have occurred after the events on the island. They envision Kong growing older, stronger, and perhaps even wiser, facing new threats from evolving predators or environmental changes. Others picture new expeditions to the island, each one discovering different corners of the terrain that the original adventure never touched. Still, others look beyond the island entirely, imagining how Kong's connection to his homeland might influence his path in a larger, global conflict involving Titans. There is also a persistent curiosity about the emotional development of Kong himself. Fans reflect on the idea that beneath the enormous strength and primal instinct lies a creature shaped by loss, isolation, and the unspoken role of protector. They imagine how new encounters, new battles, or new alliances might push him to further evolve. This interest stems from the way the film portrayed him not as a mindless force but as an intelligent, emotionally complex being whose decisions carry weight. That portrayal opened the door to more nuanced storytelling and encouraged fans to see Kong through a lens of empathy. Many viewers also continue to discuss the lasting tension between humanity and nature that the film explored. The island served as a microcosm of a larger conflict, human ambition pressing forward without fully understanding the consequences, and nature responding with forces far beyond human control. This theme continues to resonate with audiences, especially as environmental discussions grow increasingly relevant. The story's handling of this dynamic remains a source of reflection and conversation. The film's ability to combine action, mystery, emotional resonance, and world-building contributed significantly to the momentum that followed. Fans often credit it as the turning point that elevated giant creature storytelling into something more mythic and cinematic. By blending genre elements in a fresh way, it set a standard that continues to influence how people think about the Titan universe as a whole. Speculation about Skull Island itself remains a constant source of excitement. Fans imagine storms that reveal new territories, geological shifts that expose ancient structures, or migrations of creatures that have never been seen before. They picture hidden valleys, underground tunnels, and towering cliffs that conceal entire ecosystems untouched by human interference. This ongoing sense of mystery ensures that the island remains one of the most compelling locations in any cinematic universe. As time moves forward, the enthusiasm surrounding Kong's legacy only grows stronger.